Hello my fellow weirdos and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about my top 5 cozy winter reads. These are the books that are just the epitome of wintry yumminess, all the snow, all the cold, all the feels, and they're my recommendations to sit down under a warm cozy blanket with a big hot chocolate by a roaring fire and to just tuck in to that sweet wintry delights. What I will say before I start is that I will not be including any horror movies in this particular list because I am doing a separate spooky horror book list for wintry reads. This one is everything sort of else. So without further ado, let's launch into the list. Now, number 5 is the only book that I don't own physically. It is The Snow Child by Ivey. This is a book about a childless couple in 1920s rural Alaska who discover a small girl who comes out of the forest and into their garden, although she is not what she seems. This is obviously got the Alaskan wilderness, so you've just got all that wonderful, lovely, snowy isolation as a setting there, and it is like a modern day fairy tale. At number 4, we have Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I am a massive Agatha Christie fan, and this is my personal favourite of all her books. If you haven't read it, I really recommend it. And if you want to start reading Agatha Christie's, this is my favourite one to go with. It is about the famous Orient Express train, which due to an avalanche has been snowed in and is sort of stuck up in the mountains waiting to be dug out. While that happens, someone on the train is brutally murdered. Everyone's a suspect. Who did it? Well, it just so happens that one of the passengers is a famous private detective, Hercule Poirot, and he is able to solve the murder. It is a fantastic book. I love Agatha, can't gush enough, get it. This is the beautiful Folio Society edition, but there are lots of lovely other copies out there, so definitely worth a read. Okay, at number 3 we have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. Now, I'm actually doing a whole video about this trilogy. This is the first in the Winter Night trilogy, and it is just a fantastic series. I can't recommend it enough. This one is again, it's in rural Russia. It takes place in the 13th century, 14th century, 13th century. It takes place centuries ago, where a young girl called Vasya is a witch and has the ability to see the chitri, which are basically the ghosts and spirits and demons of old. They are having to compete with Christianity, which is just moving into Russia. And this book has everything from vampires to creatures called the domovoi, which live in your chimney, to animals in ponds that'll pull you in, to full-blown demons like the bear. This is a fantastic tale, woven and beautifully told. It is so colourful and it brings just that beautiful folklore just to life. I can't recommend this enough, guys. At number 2 we have the classic A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Guys, this has to be your go-to every year when it comes to cozy winter reads. This is the original Christmas story, and it is because of this book that we celebrate Christmas the way that we do today. Of course, we all know it. It's Ebenezer Scrooge and him being visited by 3 ghosts on Christmas Eve who are trying to save his soul from eternal damnation. It gets bonus points, first of all, for having ghosts in it, but it is a really wonderul read. Charles Dickens is a fantastically witty writer. And bonus, because there are so many amazing movie adaptations of it, my personal favourites being Muppets Christmas Carol, which is utter perfection, by the way, and Bill Murray's Scrooged, great adaptations. Definitely read this if you haven't before. You won't regret it. And finally, at number 1 we have The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Now, C.S. Lewis holds a special place in my heart because he comes from Northern Ireland. He is a wonderful writer who created the whole Narnia series, and every child here reads these books in primary school. I grew up with these books, the whole Narnia series. It's just wonderful and holds a special place in my heart. But it is this particular book, the first in the series, Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which to me just epitomizes winter. You have the Snow Queen with her Turkish delight. You have that wonderful imagery of the lamppost in the snow. This is winter to me. So yeah, if you haven't read it in a long time, get it out, reread it, or maybe it's something you've never read before, in which case, what are you waiting for? The Narnia series is super magical. And that's it, guys. That is my top 5 cozy, wonderful winter reads. As I said, I'm going to be doing a countdown of spooky horror winter reads for you guys as well on a separate video, so check that out if you're into that kind of thing. But what do you guys think? What are the books that you read this time of year? What would you recommend as a winter read? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, that's it for now, guys. Bye.